On.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another TheeSportsScoop mock draft. You heard it. Today we're doing a mock draft. You probably also saw it in the thumbnail, but it is a mock draft today. Dylan is here with me, and we're going to be trading off picks. Trades are allowed in this one. Obviously, we're going to try not to resort to trades because then we have to sort out the logistics of the trade, and we figure it's just better to get you each pick for each team. So Dylan, if you're ready, let's just jump straight into it.
Yep, excited to do so. Let's run this.
All right, let's go, Dylan. You're up.
First
Number
overall, I'm just
one.
going to need to
Yes,
start
Dylan.
the draft, and we are going to completely ignore this draft board because after the first four isn't terrible, but after that, it kind of gets stupid. So I'm going to make the first overall pick, and I think the majority of draft analysts would say that this is the right pick. I'm going to go with the first guy on the board, and that's Aiden Hutchinson. Reasoning is he's the pretty much the most certainly to be a star in the NFL. If you know what I mean. He's
a monster for sure.
He has the highest floor with the highest with, like, if you combine the floor and ceiling. I don't really love that concept, but you see Kayvon Thibodeau, who maybe has the highest ceiling in the draft by quite a bit, but you see Aiden Hutchinson right below there, and then you see his floor. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, I like the Hutchinson pick. So I don't know if I would have gone somewhere different. It's a very confusing pick, but
Not Trayvon Walker.
we just not Trayvon Walker, but we'll move on to the second pick, and it gets tough here. The Detroit Lions. I feel like I've seen people mock the Malik Willis. I don't like it. I've seen people mock them. Someone like Trayvon Walker. I still don't like it. I'm gonna go with who I would have had here at the beginning of the season if he was here, because I just think it's the right pick to make here. That's Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yep.
I just think they need a defensive superstar right now, and Thibodeau, in my opinion, is a more talented player than Aiden Hutchinson. Call me out on that one if you think I'm wrong.
No,
Roast me in the
I
comments,
agree with
do
you. He's
whatever
a
you
more
want.
talented player, absolutely.
But Thibodeau's a monster. Nothing against Hutchinson at all. But Thibodeau would be my number one pick in this draft. So I think the fact that he's even falling to two is a bit of a steal for the Lions.
Yep. And I think he's definitely going to in the real draft, and I don't think they're going to take him. But if they do, that's a steal, and that's a generational player that they have on their hands. Third overall, as you could see, every position for Houston is their need. Now, as much as I don't think that's necessarily true, I think they've got a relatively strong edge in Jonathan Greenard. They've got a relatively strong quarterback coming in. I think Davis Mills is their future. But there's pretty much a million holes to fill on this team.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Hamilton is someone who could fill like 7 of them on defense, but I'm not tempted enough to take him here just because I feel like, just based on the way that the draft boards are falling at the moment, he is not impossible to find at 13 where they pick again. So I'm actually going to go to the offensive line, and I'm going to take my favorite lineman in the class, and that's Evan Neal.
Yeah, I agree.
He's massive. He's a Bama product. He's also pretty much a shoo-in for someone that's going to be a great player day one. Not really much of a risk in a team that can't afford to make risky picks anymore. They've been losing they've been losing 2 straight seasons. They want to fix that. And it does fit in with the we want to protect our future quarterback thing that we're going to be seeing more and more. Don't want to dwell on it too much. Let's go to your pick.
Yeah, no, I love the Evan Neal pick. I think my top lineman in the class as well, even though he's fallen on board. But we'll go to the Jets, and I hope I'm doing Serge a solid with this one. Obviously, Serge is not here right now, but I am going to go back-to-back O-line and take Ikem Ekwonu.
He would not be happy with you here.
I just think Ekwonu is one of the best players in the draft on the board right now. And if I'm the Jets, I'm stacking up that offensive line because Zach Wilson, hate to break it to you, Serge, was not great last season.
He knows.
And you need to do anything in your power to just make sure that Zach Wilson is given a fair chance. And that's the thing that I've hated that the Giants have done with Daniel Jones. They haven't really done everything that they can to give Daniel Jones a chance. And so he's kind of been the butt of the joke. He's been there and he's been taking the blame because he's the quarterback, but he hasn't had what he needs around him to thrive. And I think if the Jets want Wilson to be successful, I I think they need to take offensive line right here.
Yep. And you stole my pick. Ikem Ekwonu was going to be my pick for the New York Giants. I find it funny that I have both of them, even though you're a Giants fan. But I'm going to do something that is a little bit unorthodox for a Giants mock draft. And you know that their secondary has been one of their stronger units for the course of the last couple of seasons. They did lose Jabril Peppers. They are probably going to lose James Bradbury. That's still very likely. I'm actually going to do something that I don't think we've seen yet, and I'm going to take Sauce Gardner here. Adoree Jackson was not up to standard last season, nor was James Bradbury. James Bradbury is probably on his way out. And while there were brighter spots in the safety core with Xavier McKinney, I think having a number one corner here and being able to take line where it could fall at 7, potentially Charles Cross or Trevor Penning, this is the right pick in terms of the best player left on the board other than Kyle Hamilton, but I don't think they want to take safety here.
All right, so the one,
you're the Giants fan, you could talk here.
So I actually don't hate taking Gardner. I agree with what you said. I think the secondary, while it's been a better unit for us the past couple of seasons, we're losing members, and we definitely need to replace some. James Bradbury was number one corner for a year, but I think Sauce Gardner could definitely fill that hole. Now, what I don't love about this pick is I feel like they're doing what they did with Daniel Jones with this pick. Now, obviously, it's not a big gap, but from 5 to 7, Sauce was almost definitely going to be there at 7.
Yeah.
Now I think so. Let's not even start on this Panthers pick because I don't know what I'm going to do there yet, but I don't see the Panthers taking Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants would be more likely. The Giants and the Panthers are both similar in the sense that they both need offensive linemen. And I think
here's my issue with taking Charles Cross is he's pretty much only a left tackle, and Andrew Thomas is solidifying himself as a left tackle.
I don't love Charles Cross either, but the Panthers definitely don't need a corner.
Yeah.
With star performances from J.C. Horn last year, they're definitely not going for corner. So the Giants, I could definitely see them leaving Sauce Gardner on the board for pick number 7. Now, they could have then gone with someone like Trayvon Walker. I think it's a little bit early for Trayvon Walker in my books. But they also could have gone receiver with this pick. And
which is where I was going to aim.
Somewhere the Panthers also could go. But I do like Sauce Gardner. I won't dwell on it for too long. I think he's a very good player. Do I like him more than Derek Stingley? Maybe. I don't really know. Stingley we haven't seen play in a while, but Stingley, we all know how talented he is when he is on.
No one cares about the pro days in the comments, by the way. They all play well. Pro days do not matter.
But we'll say I'm content with taking Sauce Gardner. I like taking Sauce Gardner in this draft. Pick 5, maybe a bit of a question mark.
All right.
But now we have to move on to pick 6. And the Panthers almost just don't deserve a pick this good.
Yeah.
Not because they're a better team than pick number 6, but because they have enough holes that I don't know where to go.
They have enough holes, but they're not massive holes.
And they're not holes in positions that you would take at pick number 6.
Yeah, like quarterback is obviously the massive hole here, but you don't know who to take here because there's no real standout quarterback.
Yeah, if there was a Justin Herbert on the board, if there was a Kyler Murray on the board, if there was a Zach Wilson on the board, he'd be the obvious pick. But there's no one who meets that standard for me. And I think this could be a situation where the Panthers trade down. And I think they could definitely get 2 first-round picks for this draft pick.
Do you want to do this?
I think a trade down makes the most sense for the Panthers. Right. I think the pick, if they don't trade down, is Charles Cross. But I think the Panthers should trade down, and I think they could trade down potentially. I mean, I think the Arizona Cardinals makes a lot of sense at pick 23. Because I think the Cardinals would give up 2 first-round picks for this pick, and I think the Panthers would want 2 first-round picks.
Here's the thing. I have the odd-numbered teams, as you know, and I would be very happy to give you the 31st overall pick from Cincinnati here.
So if I'm taking pick 31, I'm going to want 31, round 1 in 2023, and probably 95.
I'm not going to give you 95.
I think 31's just nowhere near the value, and the Bengals will not have a good pick next year.
Agree to disagree, left on the table.
I think if the Panthers are trading down, it needs to be with someone whose pick next year will somewhat come close to this year's value.
Seattle?
I think Seattle would be an interesting one.
I'll give you Denver's round 1 in the 9. No, I'll give you a round 2 in the 9 because it's a 3-pick difference.
Round 2 and 9. How good? I mean, if I'm the Panthers right now, I'll do pick 9, Seattle's round 1, and Seattle's round 2 for pick 6, and then the Carolina round 1 in 2023.
I'd say that seems fair.
I think the Panthers would be willing to do that because the Panthers are definitely going to have hopes that they are better than the Seahawks next year.
All right.
So that cashes in.
I cannot see whether or not it says the trade will be accepted. Does it? On the bottom of the screen?
Oh, yes, it will likely be accepted.
Okay, then we'll do this. And the trade has
Criticize us in the comments if you want to. I know we're not trade experts on this channel. That's not our mark, but Dylan, I guess this
has turned into my pick. Yes,
this is your pick,
which means you could take the Giants next.
Oh,
and Seattle now, they're a team who's in need of a quarterback, and I am again in a situation where I don't want to take a quarterback here. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I do want to take a cornerback here, and Sauce Gardner would have been perfect. So what I am going to do, actually, is I'm going to take Derek Stingley. It's going to be back-to-back corners here. They did lose DJ Reed this offseason. They have not had a good cornerback since Richard Sherman. Derek Stingley fills in that void. Haven't seen him play for a while, but he's someone that's definitely worth trading up for, especially since I wouldn't have been surprised if Atlanta took him.
Yeah, for sure. I like Derek Stingley to the Seahawks. I think they definitely need members on that defense, and Derek Stingley provides a great member of the defense. And now I'm in another predicament because as a Giants fan, I don't know what to pick. Do we stick with your pick? Because this is an odd number pick.
I think we made that trade so that you can have the Carolina pick. So
all right, then
you could take the odds now.
All right, make this tough for me. I don't want to say I'm going to trade down again. But I think if I were to trade down a couple picks,
let's see who's open.
Let's see who's looking at that pick.
So
Eagles,
right off the bat, I'll tell you that that's you, so you can trade with yourself. But I'm Pittsburgh. I'm interested.
Pittsburgh is interested at pick 20. I'm curious. At pick 20.
I'm Green Bay. I'm interested.
I think I'd be interested in trading for pick 20.
Pick 20.
Pick 20.
I'm willing to give you 20, a round 2, and 138 for 7.
For 7. 7 is a good pick. I mean, to be completely honest, I think the Steelers are gonna have high hopes going into next season. I'd be more likely to just do 20 in round 1. Obviously, that
I'm not gonna give you that though.
Yeah, I mean, I figured as much, but I'd give you 7 and then next year's round 3 for the 2 firsts.
I'm not going to give you 2 firsts.
Period.
Because if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm confident that a quarterback is going to fall here. I'm trading up to pick a specific quarterback, but at 20, they're going to have a quarterback. So I'm not going to give you 2 first rounders for a quarterback that I could get at 20.
Then I'm more interested in the Packers pick.
All right.
Because the Packers won't be drafting quarterback.
All right. So I'll give you 22 and a 2.
22 and 28.
I'm not going to give you 2 first rounders for a 7th. I'll give you 22, a 2, and I'll give you 53.
22 and 28 for 7 in round 3.
7 and 36.
7 and 36, 67.
Nah.
Then this year's first, next year's first for 736.
That's something I'll do.
And that does say likely accepted.
That does say likely accepted. Yeah, I think that's something the Packers are willing to do, especially since the first round pick is probably not going to be outstanding next season. So, yeah. Green Bay. Apologies for the long trade negotiations.
I know.
But now they're going to take a receiver, and they're going to get their guy. That's Drake London. He is now pretty clearly my wide receiver one. He's got that size, that speed, that catch radius. He does suffer from concentration drops every here and there, but Green Bay is going to need to replace Devontae Adams in the worst way, and they're going to be able to do that super easily with Drake London. Now pick number 8.
Atlanta Falcons. Now I don't want to trade. No, I'm kidding. I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons here. As much as I think he's an overhyped player, I'm gonna go Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker. All right, I don't mind that.
I think I love I just have a picture, but I think the Falcons could use a real stud on the defense. Go on that line with Grady Jarrett. I think he really could be a monster of an edge, and I think the Falcons desperately need an edge right now. So,
yep. All right, I think that works for them, and I really hate letting Kyle Hamilton fall this far because he is one of my favorite players on the board.
Agree.
And I would have taken him with Atlanta if I had the chance. I would have taken him with potentially would have taken him with Houston if I got another chance to. But I'm happy with the Evan Neal pick. We're going to slow it down on the trades probably coming up because it's been a very long first 9 picks.
Well, the top 10 is the entertaining one.
Yep. I am going to take Charles Cross here. They traded down and they were able to take Charles Cross here, who I think will be a really good addition to their team. So they'll be able to protect the blind side of whichever quarterback they have next season, whether that be Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, second round pick. We're only doing the first round, but yeah, Charles Cross is definitely a good addition.
Wow. Am I going to pick Kyle Hamilton out of the top 10?
Well, I know if he falls, I'm taking him right away.
Yeah, I mean, the Washington has to if he falls there.
Although Cameron Curl's actually been very good now.
So I think I'm sort of deciding between Kyle Hamilton, Trent McDuffie, Andrew Booth, and potentially Treylon Burks or Garrett Wilson.
I was thinking receiver for the Jets, but I would also not be completely against taking an edge rusher for them because they're pretty weak in that.
That's not a bad thought. I mean, I know Serge loves his defensive line, but I think the love is kind of in the wrong place.
Yeah.
So, this is a tough one. I am going to go Jermaine Johnson.
I hate him.
That's a strong word. I don't particularly love Jermaine Johnson, but I think there's a reason he's ranked highly. He's not a terrible player. He's a good player. He's a top 10 pick. He's just not necessarily, I think, what the Jets were hoping for here.
I just don't find him to be that impressive. I've watched a lot of tape on him trying to understand the hype because he's been going up to 5 in boards. He was even at 3 in a draft. I'm trying to understand the hype, and I just don't see that X Factor Kayvon Thibodeau type player from him that I'm seeing. Obviously, I'm probably over exaggerating about how useless he is. He's not a terrible player, but I don't think he's a top 10 pick. I would have taken a couple of edge rushers before I took him. Last time I'm going to really stall you out. Out of these guys, I would have taken Boye Mafe before him. I would have taken Arnold. I don't even want to try saying his last name until he gets drafted because I'll hear them say it out loud before him. Arnold. I wouldn't take Karlaftis. I don't love Karlaftis. Before the injury, I would have taken Ojabo. I am dwelling on this, though, and we're going to go to Washington, where I will not be dwelling on this because this is the second most talented player on the board. Simple. Your turn.
All right. So the Vikings, another team I could see trading, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take, who do I like more, Andrew Booth or Trent McDuffie? I think I'm going to take, for the Vikings, I'm feeling more of an Andrew Booth.
All right. Yeah, you want that guy with ball skills right now.
Yeah, I think they could really use an Andrew Booth type player. Obviously playing for a powerhouse school in Clemson. He's got the experience. He's got what it takes to, I think, potentially be a number 1 corner for them in years to come.
Yep. 13th overall. Houston Texans. They have a wide receiver group right now of Brandon Cooks, who's looking for a trade, Nico Collins, Danny Amendola. I don't know.
That's pretty bad.
So we're going to be going receiver here to give your pal Davis Mills a new toy.
Oh my God, it says needs every position.
Yeah, I hate how low Jahan Dotson is ranked.
That's so bad.
I hate that this is throwing me off to taking Jahan Dotson here because I think he would be my next receiver off the board. But this 46 is scaring me. You know what? I don't care. PFF is not my favorite. It's not my favorite platform. So I'm going to take Jahan Dotson here. I think he's my second favorite receiver on this board. He's got his speed is maybe not Jameson Williams level, not really a Chris Olave level, but he's able to get around. He's got the best hands in the class. I don't think he dropped a single pass this season. And although his size is not it's not Drake London, it's not Treylon Burks. He's very capable of creating space as a route runner and up to the point where it doesn't really matter how small he is. Now for Baltimore.
Baltimore, I think this one, let's see if I can make it quick. I'm going to take maybe a questionable pick, but I've seen him mocked higher than 14, so I'm going to go Devin Lloyd.
Ooh. Pair him up with Patrick Queen. That's scary.
I think they were in the hunt this offseason for a linebacker, safety.
They were looking for Bobby Wagner.
Looking for Bobby Wagner, looking for potentially Tyrann Mathieu. I think linebacker. I think linebacker or safety is where Baltimore is going to go in this draft. And I think Devin Lloyd would be a great pick for them at 14.
I like that. Now, you see this? This says DB pretty clearly, right? Now, what if I told you that I know the perfect player for that? His name's Dax Hill. He can play everywhere in a position where Philadelphia need him to play everywhere.
He is a worse Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
but he's more trained to corner and safety, whereas Kyle Hamilton can go into linebacker.
Yeah, I mean he's only 6 feet tall, so it's he's a shorter one.
I'm thoroughly expecting him to shoot up into top 10s in some mock drafts soon. Dax Hill.
No, I've been hearing the name Daxton Hill for a couple of years now. I think he was a little bit higher ranked a couple of years ago. But I really like Dax Hill. I think he would be a very solid pick for the Eagles here. Now, we know the Eagles do have pick 18 as well. And would he be off the board by then? I don't know. But I don't see why not.
I'm taking him here because I think Los Angeles could be in the running for him.
After getting J.C. Jackson, I don't know.
Yeah, but then after that, you have Nazir Adderley. Is he good? Yeah.
He's all right.
Is he someone that you're worth building let's go on to the Saints. Right. It's not like a pressing matter to discuss Nazir Adderley.
New Orleans is also an interesting pick because I think while they desperately need receiver, the receiver's just not the pick that's going to change your franchise, like sort of flip it around right now.
They do have 19 as well to take a receiver.
They do have 19 as well. So I think I'll go away from receiver, and I think I'll take. I don't know how great this is, but to replace Teron Armstead,
okay,
I'm going to take Trevor Penning here.
I like that.
I think Trevor Penning is, a monster of a person, a monster of a player. I think he'll be a great replacement for Teron Armstead.
He just eats.
He just eats people, food, probably other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not insinuating.
Not sure where we're going. We're not sure where we're going here.
Me neither.
You could see what I've already done for the Chargers pick. They had the worst ranked run defense in the league other than Houston last season. And there is 3 players that I can consider here. That's Devontae Wyatt, who I'm not really considering. That's Jordan Davis, who I'm leaning towards. And then there's Perion Winfrey, who I really, really like, but that is not a great value pick. I'm going to go Jordan Davis. Monster. You saw him in the national championship. I'm sure you did. And he is probably my favorite inside D lineman in this class.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Moving on to the Chargers. Or sorry, you just picked the Chargers.
Yep.
moving to the Eagles now. So with the Dax Hill pick, I really like the Dax Hill pick. Does it address secondary enough for me to go away from Trent McDuffie?
I think so.
I think
Because they already have big plus
I
left.
think it might. And for now, I'm gonna let secondary stay because I think they can get a steal of like a Kyler Gordon or a Roger McCreary in the second round.
Yeah. Kyron Lamb.
And then they could potentially get Cine, Brisker, Petra, like someone like that in the second round. So I'm gonna go ahead and take someone who I think will definitely fit this team, and that's Nakobe Dean.
Ooh, I like that.
I think they desperately need a linebacker. I think is their top guy still Alex Singleton at
I
linebacker?
believe it's Kaiser White now.
All right, so no better. But I think Nakobe Dean will pretty much instantly become their best linebacker. Without hesitation, I think he's the best linebacker talent-wise on that Eagles roster if he goes to the Eagles.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that's fair. And now on to New Orleans. This is a very interesting pick because had you gone quarterback here, which is what I would have done because I don't dislike Jameis Winston, but I think you
Jameis Winston,
you go for a quarterback when you have the best available quarterback at pick 16. And I think I would have done that. I would have gone receiver if you did that. But since I can't pair a quarterback with a receiver, I don't think it's wise to take any of them. And I think I'm going to go and strengthen my safety core, which lost Marcus Williams. And I think I'm going to take Jaquan Brisker here. I think he's pretty much a spot-for-spot replacement for Marcus Williams minus the Minnesota Miracle. I'm big on taking my Penn State guys right now. I've taken now Jahan Dotson and Jaquan Brisker higher than projected. Not even a Penn State fan, just happened to go that way. You want to go to Pittsburgh? Let's see if you take my quarterback.
giving me suspense, but I'm actually not going to take your quarterback. I think
falling farther.
Okay, so that's me personally. I'm not a massive Malik Willis fan.
Yep.
But I do think he will go high, and I just haven't had the right chance to pick him. And I think right now the Steelers, before they draft a quarterback, need to sort of build something for that quarterback.
Well, they have Najee Harris. They have Deontay Johnson.
Okay, but what's the most important thing for a quarterback?
Yeah, we can agree it's a tackle.
And that's why, even though none of the top tackles are on the board, I'm going to go not for a tackle, but for Zion Johnson.
Okay.
I really like Zion Johnson. I think he's a really great player. And I think just the Steelers' offensive line is terrible. Some of Najee Harris's best runs this season were losses because that's how bad their offensive line was. And there's nothing that can be done for, you can't bring in a quarterback without an offensive line and just hope that he succeeds. It just doesn't really go well when that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what happened to Trevor Lawrence this season. We've seen what happened to Zach Wilson this season. It just doesn't go well. It doesn't sit right with me to bring in a quarterback and on day one, he gets crushed 24 times in practice.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't sit right with me. And I have to go offensive line before quarterback.
So you saw me bringing up this trade graphic here for New England.
I did see you bring up the trade graphic.
I'm going to offer you a trade, and that's Detroit. The 32. I'm going to give you the 21 and the 54. You give me the 32 and the 34.
So if I'm Detroit with this,
because you know what I'm doing with Detroit.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing with Detroit. Am I taking this? I think I say yes to this. I think I take that trade. I think I have to.
So now Detroit.
Now this is my pick with Detroit.
This is you with Detroit. All right.
And I'm gonna say it before I regret it. Malik Willis.
All right.
It has to be done. If they're not gonna take him at that pick number 2, which I don't think they should, mind you. If they get this pick number 21, they have to take Malik Willis.
So you traded this away, and now I get to make the pick.
Oh,
which is
please do what I wanted
fun.
to. I was setting myself up
I
on this
do
one.
have to take an offensive lineman.
Oh, I was setting myself up on this one. Please don't disappoint
I'm
me.
going to take Tyler Linderbaum.
You disappointed me.
Who did you want? Because this is the right option.
At this pick, I really wanted a wide receiver.
All right. That's understandable, but they do have a 34th overall, a 33rd or something. But Tyler
We do have an early second round pick, but I think we could have. I mean, I think it's a fair enough pick. I think
Tyler Linderbaum.
I maybe would have preferred Kenyon Green to Tyler Linderbaum.
Tyler Linderbaum's the best center in this class by so much. And the Giants, while they did bring in Feliciano, they did bring in Glowinski, they need to keep Saquon healthy. Tyler Linderbaum is a dog.
No, it's fair. I am not mad with an offensive line pick. For a second, I saw you scroll into defense, and I was getting really mad.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, I probably would have gone Jameson Williams with that pick. But
all right.
Yeah,
well, this
whatever.
is a team you can take him again with. This is Arizona, who is now wide receivering.
But I'm not going to.
An injury, I would have injury prone D Hop, AJ Green.
But an injury prone D Hop is still D Hop.
Yeah.
And they have Rondale Moore.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take receiver here. I am going to go with that top need, and I think it's a guy who's fallen too far. Maybe only slightly, but I'm going to go Trent McDuffie.
Yep. Understood. Byron Murphy, Trent McDuffie, cornerback core.
That'll be very good.
Both went to Washington. Interesting. But now this is Dallas. This is a team that won the NFC East. While there are some holes in their team, it's difficult to pinpoint which one to attack. They lost Lyle Collins, they lost Connor Williams, but the offensive line depth has gone down tremendously. Lost Amari Cooper. I don't want to fill receiver here. I do want to fill edge, though, because they lost Randy Gregory. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take Boye Mafe. I really like him. If you saw my scouting report or makeshift scouting report, because it was 6 minutes. But I like him a lot. He's quick. He's kind of not really a Randy Gregory size for size replacement, but he's someone that I think can produce just as much.
Yeah, I think it's a fair pick. Now the Bills, if you guys have seen what I've said about the Bills, I think the Bills have the best roster in the NFL, with the exception of maybe the Rams. But the Bills have a pretty incredible roster. With this pick, I think, so obviously I think the biggest hole in the Bills is running back, but there's no running back I love. Of the film I've watched so far, my favorite is James Cook, Dalvin's younger brother. I think he is a monster. He has been a monster in college. And I really like Brian Robinson as well. Obviously not the top guys you'll see on the draft board, but I'm not going to go with running back. It's just too early.
Yeah.
I'm going to see, I would address the wide receiver need, but I think it doesn't really matter who Josh Allen has a receiver right now.
Yeah.
I think as long as he's got Stephon Diggs, as long as he's got that number one target who he can rely on, he's got Dawson Knox and he's got Gabe Davis. I think it's still a fine wide receiver core, even if it's not the best, even if it's not as good as last year. So I'm going to go back to where they went. Let's see, is this now 2 years ago with Ed Oliver? And I'm going to go. I'm going to go with, I guess at this point, he's my favorite defensive tackle. I'm between Wyatt Winfrey and DeMarvin Leal. And I think Jordan Davis would be the obvious pick here. But I'm going to go, I think, as the best compliment for Ed Oliver. I think I have to go with DeMarvin Leal.
Ooh, I like that.
Where
is he? Oh, he's played. Wow. He's listed as an edge. That's right.
Okay, I was gonna say that felt way too far from me. Where is he?
There he is.
Okay, I think so Ed Oliver is more of a run stuffing, smart, sneaky defensive tackle who just gets to the running back. DeMarvin Leal is a powerful machine who will get to the quarterback for the Bills, which, if there's one thing the Bills have lacked a little bit, it's getting to the quarterback with one true, big, strong pass rusher. So,
yep,
I like DeMarvin Leal.
So now Tennessee, I don't think this team has a whole lot of weaknesses, by the way. I think they are pretty clear favorites for the AFC South. Bringing in Robert Woods is an underrated move, which is why I don't want to go receiver. The interior line does need to be addressed as they lost Roger Saffold, and that is what I'm going to do. I think we know what I'm going to do here. That is Kenyon Green. I'm not going to really elaborate on that much more. I don't think I need to, but I do know that Tampa Bay is upset because they wanted to replace Alex Kappa and Ali Marpet.
Tampa Bay. This is an interesting one for me. Yeah, sorry. Something in my throat.
No issues.
Okay. Maybe against popular belief because Tom Brady is their quarterback. No, I'm not drafting quarterback.
Okay.
No, I am not drafting quarterback. I would not do that to Tom Brady. I would not dream of doing that to Tom Brady. I'm actually going to help Tom Brady out, and I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson.
Ooh.
I think
now they have 4 stud receivers.
I think a slot receiver is the one they're missing. Chris Godwin and Evans make a great AB.
But I think Godwin fills that. I think Gage could fill that.
But Russell Gage, I don't think is as good as Garrett Wilson.
But why do you bring him in then?
I couldn't tell you what the Bucs did before. I'm just thinking about what they're going to do now. And Garrett Wilson is, in my mind, the best player on this board.
All right.
So I think.
Well, I know that angers the Packers.
Well, the Packers have some other options they can go with. There's Jameson Williams on the board, Chris Olave. I think they could really be interested in Treylon Burks. But yeah.
And where is Jordan Love? I can't seem to find him here. No, I'm gonna go now.
Jordan Love?
Yeah. Because it was 28th overall, but or was he 26th? I don't know. But now this leaves me in a position where I don't know what to do. They lost Zadarius. They lost Zadarius Smith.
George Karlaftis.
I don't like George Karlaftis. I would go
Quay Walker, Christian Harris.
That is it. That is tempting, actually. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that is a tempting pick. I think I'm going to do that now. Thank you. I'm going to go with Christian Harris here. He's that Zadarius Smith type mold, and
They also haven't replaced Blake Martinez yet.
Yeah, but Christian Harris. But I don't know how much you guys have followed college football, but 2021. If you looked at the draft board before this NFL season started, before this college season started, he was a top 10 pick, and he fell off a little bit. And he lands his way at 28 to Green Bay. They couldn't be happier. Which receiver are you going to take here?
Oh, you're assuming I'm taking receiver here.
Yes, very clearly.
All right, yeah, okay, so you're not wrong. Which one of the three?
Oh, you want Wan'Dale Robinson? Okay.
I mean, I was gonna say Wan'Dale, but I think it's between 3 guys with this pick. It has to be Williams, Olave, or Burks. Sorry, Jesus.
Yeah, no issues.
Misread it. Thought something was wrong. I don't think I'm looking for a true replacement for Tyreek Hill with this one. I think Tyreek was kind of a one-of-a-kind player, and if you try to draft a replacement, I feel like it'll go wrong.
Plus, if you really, really want a replacement, why not just utilize
Mecole
Hardman in that way? And then
so
VS.
I think I'm going to go Treylon Burks.
I like that.
And that's because he's another big body receiver. Not another, but a big body receiver that they haven't really had since Sammy Watkins. And I think he has the potential to be better than Sammy Watkins by a long shot. So I think the other 2 would just be mistakes for them. They don't really need slot. They don't really need speed. We know they have speed through DeMarcus Robinson, Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle. So I think that Burks is probably the better pick for them there.
Do you actually not think that I'm going to take another receiver here?
I have no idea what I think you're going to do.
Yeah, well,
I haven't really thought that
I don't know what I think I'm going to do.
Right.
Now I do. I'm going to go safety. That's Lewis Cine.
Safety.
They lost Tyrann Mathieu. They lost Dan Sorensen, as little as that matters. And they brought in Justin Reed, sure, but Lewis Cine really does help them. I think that's pretty clear. I think he was my standout player in the national championship game. That includes Jordan Davis. That includes Trayvon Walker. I think he was the best player in that game, and he really showed up throughout the entire season, moving up into the first round. What do you got here?
Boy, the Bengals will be fuming that there are no offensive linemen on the board right now.
Hey, Bernard Raymond's ranked 13 on PFF.
Well, not to me.
No, don't do it.
I'm going to take Bernard. No, I think the Bengals will be breaking their necks to try and trade up to an early 20 pick so they can get Zion Johnson, Tyler Linderbaum, Kenyon Green, and maybe even sooner. They might try and break into the top 15 for a Trevor Penning.
Yeah.
So
Or Charles Cross if he falls that far.
I think the Bengals are in a slight predicament here because I don't know what I love for them to pick here. I think if they don't have what they want here, I could see them trading down, but they're not going to get a lot of value at 31.
Here's the thing: if we trade down, we don't get to make that pick because
I don't think I'm going to trade down. They don't get a lot of value for pick number 31. I think they could, but I don't think they will. I think Desmond Rid. No.
Why would you ever do that?
No, I wouldn't. I think I'm actually going to take maybe an interesting pick,
All right.
but I'm going to go Quay Walker.
Okay. I like their linebacking core.
As much as I like their linebacker core, I was going to say, completely blanking right now, but
Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson.
Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson. That's it. I think they were, I don't want to call them flukes, but they haven't been good, like really good up until this season. And they had a great they both had great seasons, but do I see them necessarily doing it again? Maybe, maybe not. And I think at linebacker, the possibility of them getting hurt for Quay Walker, it just sort of opens up the field for Quay Walker to play. And I really like Quay Walker. So.
All right. So this is New England now. And as you see Jameson Williams and Chris Olave finding their miraculous way to 32 overall. And then you see Bill Belichick, who refuses to take skill position players.
Right. Well, obviously.
So I'm going to go corner.
Okay.
Because they were not able to keep J.C. Jackson, and they have one of the weakest cornerbacking cores in the league. And just like that, it is fixed with Roger McCreary. And that is our mock draft. Hope you guys like that. I'll just let you guys see.
It is grading our draft. I don't know that I've done one on PFF.
Doesn't, but if you want to see,
yeah, we got picks 1 through 10 up there, 20 through 30.
And I'm going to stop the share. Appreciate you guys coming around to the Sports Scoop. Don't know why it's showing only Charlie on the screen. I'm the one who talks here. If you guys are seeing me, that was useless.
Yeah, they'll be seeing you.
Yep. Okay. Apologies for that. And I do hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, like and subscribe. Come to our live stream for the NFL draft. It will surely be our biggest event yet. So make sure to tune into that. I'm Dylan Shallon. This is Charlie Nidell. Thanks for watching. Come back soon. Boopity 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 boop. Oh my God, I'm still recording. Boopity boopity boop.